In the journey of personal development, one of the first things to learn is the lesson of the seasons. Lesson of the seasons. Lesson of the seasons. The lesson of the seasons. Life and business is like the changing seasons. Live a more extraordinary life. One of the best ways to illustrate what's happening in your business, what's happening in your life, is this illustration of the changing seasons. Frank Sinatra used to sing, life is like the seasons. Like the seasons. Like the seasons. You cannot change the seasons. One of the things to, come to grips with is what you can change and what you cannot change. You cannot change the seasons. You can change yourself. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Therein lies the chance to live an extraordinary life. Learning to change yourself. In an economic sense, my mentor put it this way. To climb the ladder of success as high as you wish to climb, here's the key. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He said if you work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fine. But if you work hard on yourself, you could make a fortune, which is super fine. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you could make a fortune. Then let's put it in philosophical language. Two things on economics philosophically. Here's the first one I learned. Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy. Now, I didn't learn that until I was 25 years old. They never taught it in high school. I went to college one year, never heard it. Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy, not the economy. You can change yourself. Then when I finally understood that, I got excited about it because I knew I couldn't change the economy, but I was assured that I certainly could change my philosophy. And I did that. And here's the philosophy. Success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. You can change yourself. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract. Become an attractive person.
All right, perfect. Let me double check my audio here. All right, good. Okay, how is everybody doing tonight? Good, very good. Okay, nice. So we are going to get started with the template format, and then we'll move on to some exciting stuff here from you folks that haven't seen what we do as a team. Let me get on my Skype here because I don't want to be, you know that funky sound where it goes boo in the middle of a presentation. It's happened to all of us, so I want to make sure I turn that off. And let me head over and open up my PowerPoint. So we just got back from Vegas. We're able to connect with, our whole intention was twofold. Number one was 2 years as a team from some of the very beginning members that started with us, and then some newer members too. There was a gentleman, Gus, just that started last week, and he already was out there with us hanging out, so I thought that was kind of cool. And happy Irish Day to my Irish folks. My cousin, Katie, is Irish as well. She was born out there in Ireland. So if you guys are Irish, you guys just had a recent celebration, so it's kind of cool. We had a fun time out there. Was able to really connect with a lot of good vendors, and a lot of them stood out. I mean, there was everything you can think of, from home and garden to toys department to garment district stuff. A lot of folks, believe it or not, are actually from Los Angeles, the garment area, which is kind of cool. So picked up a lot of business cards, a lot of good people out there as well. So I'll give you guys some quick shout outs here as we have some new folks, and then we'll begin the webinar. I do like to recognize folks because you guys deserve it. You guys came out of your own busy day and made the attempt to be out here. So as I call your name, let us know where you're dialed in from. I may have some trouble with your name, so just bear with me. Abhay Karva, where you're dialed in from, my friend, and Angela, Bertrand, Annalise, let's see, Beckers, Barbara Holcomb, Ben Zumunya, Bill Glacier. Good to see you guys. Bill was out there in Vegas with us. Good to hang out with you, Bill. Hopefully you had a nice, safe trip back. Brian Ashworth, Carla Ramirez, Charles Smith, Chris Brown, Christy Kirk. Let's see, Corey Helmeriches, Dan Manlove. Cool name, Dan. Dave Painter, Dee Diane Mum, Dorothy Grant, Gary Marsh, Gilbert Campos, Greg Sims, J. Dean, Joe, Ann Pulowski, and we got folks joining us, so my screen is jumping. Let's see, who else we got here? John Amen, good to see you, John. George Gonzalez, Karen Yillard, Kathy W., Larry Keiser, Loretta Helton, good to see you guys. Marilee Kennedy, Mark Hayes, Martin Vera, good to see Martin. Paul Thomas, Ray Polito, Renee Linares, Robbie Cox, Robert Akers, good to see Robert, Rosemary Summers, good to see you, Rosemary, and good job on your sales. Rosemary just got started with us and is fired up, made some few sales, and Siegel Young, Steve Rivershod, Steve Smith, Teresa Cortez, Toy Adams, Tony Emerald, and Yu-Ching Fan. Great people on the webinar. I see a lot of you, some folks have been with us for a while, some folks were with us and then came back and taking a second look, third look. But some pretty cool stuff happened for us over in Vegas because we were able to connect with some drop shippers that we will be experimenting with. And then as we see fit, if it makes sense for us to add it to the system, we will. I think it's important to note that we have to find an edge when it comes to drop shipping because there's so much competition on eBay. You always want to be on the cutting edge and see, if you have access to a product or a service that it's not competitive, that's always a good thing, right? That's always a good thing, especially if it's popular. Right now, we're starting to see the season of spring coming around the corner, so think about what you would see at a store. Someone shared with me this cool concept. I think you guys will love this. If you walk in at Target or your favorite store, Walmart, I don't know where you shop, Costco, and you start seeing stuff that's out in the aisles, out in the middle of the aisles, there is a gal who's on a team who writes things down, like what's popular right now out in the stores, and then goes home and then goes through the whole list. I gave her a tip. What I do is something similar, but I actually use a barcode scanner on the smartphone. So you got to have a smartphone if you want to do this. If not, you'll have to write it down on a piece of paper. And then find out what's popular right now, like what's selling on the shelves, especially if the items are lower in stock. That means it's a good item, right? So you want to write those down on a piece of paper and then list those on your eBay store. It's a pretty cool way of knowing what's right now in season. I just got off the phone with eBay, so I'm going to share with you guys some secrets here at the end of the webinar on what that conversation went like. But for now, let's get started with the presentation. And I'll share with you guys what I learned from eBay, and we're experimenting on this. But you do have to hang out to the end of the webinar to really see the big picture of what that was about. So let's go ahead and get started. You're about to discover a system to create a part-time or full-time income from the comfort of your home. Now, this is for folks that haven't seen what we've done, or you've been with us and you've seen what we've done, but maybe it wasn't the right timing. And I always tell folks, if you've been with us in the past before, you do get a discount coming back, so you don't have to pay the re-entrance fee because you've already been coached on the basics. A lot of times, newer folks, it requires us to spend more time with them, sometimes really late at night to get them coached, and so people are going to have questions. And so our intention is not to be greedy here, but to really get as many people at home as possible. And so our intention is for you to keep getting educated and continuing using our products and services, which is our software, which you'll learn about here in a second. Okay. I got to hang out with my buddy JC out in Vegas, and so this was a slide that I put together when him and I did a webinar together. And I don't know if JC's on this webinar. He may be. but he might be tired because I know all week he just got back from Vegas yesterday to Florida. So he was the guy that flew out the farthest. So thank you, JC, for coming out to Vegas and joining us. So quick question, guys. What would an additional $10 to $200 a day mean to you and your family? You know, how about targeted leads that actually want to talk to you? When I say leads, guys, if you've been in any type of marketing or sales, you'll appreciate this. People actually love what we do here because it resonates with the average person. Okay, you don't have to be some superstar salesman to really understand the big picture. And so the product and service really dials into the average Joe, and that's what really stood out to me is that if I can help out, you know, the average Joe that isn't really good at sales and closing big ticket price items, this can be a great sales technique for them. And then people that see the information, they say, oh, okay, well, it's worked for Caesar's wife. Why can't it work for my wife or myself, et cetera? So that's really the intention. So those leads, those quality of people, there's a space for them, and we take care of them. I like to call them the 95% club, right? People that aren't very good at sales and marketing. This is a great way for them to get money in their pocket. What would that be worth to you guys? And I believe you're going to discover that tonight in the most effective way I can present it as possible. I've made this presentation to really break it down so you guys can really get the big picture. Okay, so let's continue here. So family is our #1 priority. You know, time freedom, guys. You really got to know what your why is. I always say is that if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you know, why are you still doing it? So that's really the question. You know, I have folks all the time. I say, hey, Caesar, I love my job. You know, I say, great. You know, I think jobs are great. You know, they take care of the right now money. But long-term wise, you know, pensions and 401ks have become 101ks, as we all know what happened in 2008. So that might not necessarily be the road that you want to take. That wasn't the road I wanted to take, especially because my job got outsourced many different ways. And so then I started to look for ways to be home. As a matter of fact, thinking back, 1996 when I started college, I remember always thinking to myself, wow, wouldn't it be nice to work for a company that's so innovative and getting me to where I want to be in my future goals? Well, ironically, when I graduated, as I started seeing the market churn, we all saw what happened with 9/11, and that's an unfortunate event, but that really affected a lot of tech companies because of the stock market, and you know, all the money kind of went down south, and so the companies started to outsource, trying to find ways to, you know, make things cheaper, and employment has become an issue, and it still is. It hasn't gotten actually better. You know, some folks say that the 2008 was the worst market. I actually saw them in 2001. I saw the job market kind of, you know, tapering away. So my philosophy is this: you know, if it is like this now, and it wasn't this bad when my dad was, you know, younger and showing me what I wanted to be, you know, he kind of pushed me in the direction of being an engineer, and I achieved that. Being a computer engineer is something that was brought onto my lap by my father, right? And I appreciate him for that because it's allowed me to bring what you guys see here tonight as an idea to re-innovate the process of what we're doing. So it wasn't a total waste of time for me to go to college. Not necessarily should I educate every single person on here. Rather, I should say everybody should not consider college as the be-all and force every children to go to. I will give my kids an option to go to school. More so because of the way that the school system is tied with companies, and 80% of students that get out of college do not have a job in what they practice, and that to me is kind of scary. So I will give my kids a choice. I say, look, you can begin having a job as a Subway you know, employee or whatever you want to do there at 16, or you can start working for us in the entrepreneurship world. As a matter of fact, we just hired 2 of our kids. We just found out that you can hire kids at the age of 7 and pay them as much as $6,000 a year tax-free money, and we'll put that into a savings account for them. That's $500 a month for them. Not bad for a 7-year-old, right? Most people don't even bring that home on a part-time basis playing with their internet business. So with that said, you know, as you start to learn more and more about working for yourself, there's a lot of benefits of hanging out with people that are doing it, okay? One of my mentors said, when you start to understand how to make money from home, you start to take advice from people that are doing it, right? And that's the key thing. You start to surround yourself with people that are making it happen. Not necessarily would you take advice from your broke Uncle Bob, because that's not gonna be a good influence, if you will, for where you want to be. Okay, sorry that was long-winded, but a mouthful was said there, and it's good to understand why we do what we do. You want to get rid of yourself from all the Debbie Downers, the naysayers, and I say this, with great sincerity. There's some really, really good people out there, and a lot of them are my friends, but not necessarily where I want to hang out with them all day. Number one, they listen to the type of music I wouldn't listen to. Okay, they're feeding their mindset with the wrong Jerry Springer stuff that's on TV. Okay, Desperate Housewives, shows like these that are affecting their mindset. And you may not believe it, and it may not affect you today, but really, it's a slight edge decision, right? You compound that over time. You start listening to that stuff every single day, and it becomes a part of you. It's weird how that works out, but it does happen. So you want to stay away from negative people. How much is your time worth, guys? I don't know. You have to figure that out for yourself. And I advise you, before even doing anything, make a clear, defined goal on what you want to do and how much you want to make monthly. This project was started because of my wife. She was looking for something to do. She approached me and she said, look, I'm looking for something to do that I can do from home, that doesn't require me to be on the phone all day, recruiting like a traditional home-based business, Mary Kay, Amway, and great companies. There's a lot of good companies out there, but that wasn't what she was looking for. Okay, she was just looking for doing some simple computer work, and then processing some sales, and then and so eBay really fit the concept, the idea. This is actually a picture of us at a convention, a personal growth convention. We absolutely enjoy the industry of network marketing for that purpose, the personal growth. I think it's a great tool to have, not only in finances, but also in your life and your family life, because you start educating your kids about personal growth. I guarantee you that you will not recognize yourself a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. That's what I was told 5 years ago. And even though I wasn't making a lot of money 5 years ago, what I was doing was I was planting the seed. I was listening to all the personal growth leaders and mentors that were taking me to the life cycle of success versus that of failure. And you can say that's really what boosted me from becoming, I guess, the quote-unquote bamboo tree, right? The story of the bamboo tree is that it works itself in the ground, and you're watering every single day for 5 years. And most people don't realize this, but after 5 years, that bamboo tree just takes off the ground and grows up in the sky. And that's the idea. That's the idea of the analogy is that you want to make sure you feed your mind good stuff. And most people are like, man, what the heck does this have to do with eBay sales, Caesar? This has nothing to do with eBay sales. And that's where you're absolutely incorrect. As a matter of fact, people that don't plug into personal development every single day, they focus on the negative stuff, their whole store goes to crap, guys. And I mean that with great care, and I've seen it happen all the time, where people are just so negative, they start focusing and looking the other way, and they think the outside external forces, like another company or another product or service, another similar model, is going to make it better, and it's not the case, guys. Okay, let me be the first one to tell you, until I fixed what was wrong with me inside my mental struggles, right, until I started to unplug from the negative stuff, that's when my life started changing. And as a matter of fact, that's when I started seeing people change in their lifestyle. Okay, my marriage with my wife has actually exponentially grown to, I can't even tell you, it's crazy. I tell her all the time, I don't think you're irreplaceable because it would require me years to kind of build up what her and I built together in the personal growth industry. We've never plugged into TV, guys. We don't watch negative news, okay, for a very specific reason. It does not build a foundation to our future, okay? So there you have it. All right, so here's the concept. Let's get started. Now you guys ready for the technical stuff, right? This is where it gets fun. This is where it gets simple. I don't think people really need to understand how simple it is, but it's not very complicated. It's not very hard, guys. I think it's a very simple deal. When it comes down to it, drop shipping was something that fell in my lap over 2 years ago. I actually saw it, and I've been around eBay since the 90s. But when I came across this concept, I said, well, that's pretty cool. And it was working actually quite well. It was working really well with my wife that I started taking a deeper look on how I can improve it. So the concept is you start here, right? You list an item on eBay, and it really doesn't matter what the item is. I can pull up an example here since I'm on the website. I'll pull up Amazon as a main product source website. And like I mentioned, we've connected with many other dropshippers, so we actually don't even have to use Amazon anymore. But I'll just show you as an example. And then what I'll do eBay, okay? And if I type in blue spatula, you'll notice that blue spatula pops up with a white background. And that's the only one I care about. It's just a blue spatula with white background. And you'll notice this guy is not one of us. I can tell you that by his listings. But if we look at the item, okay, he has it set as a bid, and the price is at $12.99. He's a brand new seller, so it's probably not the greatest example. And you can tell he hasn't been really educated on how to drop ship. But he's trying. You know, I'm just giving some feedback. So this is you on the webinar, Alexa Domis. You want to make sure that you pay close attention, right? So I'm going to copy that same title over here, and me as a competitor, I'm going to find out what they are selling it for. So it's currently discounted at $667, right? $667 right here, and she has it listed for $9.99 on a bid and $12.99 as a profit. Now, if I was to make this different, here's one of our tools that we just developed not too long ago, and it's called the title builder. And I'm going to log into my back office here as a member. This is what you get access to. And we have this tool called Title Builder. We also have one called Title Optimizer. But I like the Title Builder for, I really invest a lot of money into this for you guys to build your titles up. And I just got off the phone with eBay, and they mentioned, there's nothing wrong with building some really good titles. As a matter of fact, use up all 80 characters. So I'm going to show you how to use up 80 characters right here really easily. I'm going to paste that same title over, except the difference what I'm going to do is we teach you to remove the brand and the model number, because think about it, you as a seller, you're not going to search for that model number. I mean, that's kind of a waste of space. Okay, so all you care about is you want a spatula and maybe a silicone, I don't know, Easy Flex 3-piece spatula set. All I care about is spatula set. Let's leave silicone on there. That's a good name because that's what the material is, right? And it's blue. I don't know if you care if it's blue or not, but we don't need a comma in there. Okay, so that's going to be my title. I'm going to copy that into my query. All right, we got 4 words in there, and then you get keywords. It's going to pull 100 popular keywords inside of eBay based on popularity of these 4 keywords, right, guys? So it's pulling it, and just give it a second here. Grab some water. All right, so here we go. We got exactly about 100 keywords here based on popularity. We already have set in the keywords. We have silicone in here. We have spatula. We have blue. Easy is not in there, but hey, you know what? It's popular, so we'll throw that back in there. Flex. Hey, you know what? Flex is another word that's in there, so I'll throw that in there. Flex. Notice I'm kind of scrambling them too. And then there's 3-piece. 3-piece was part of the word, so it's flexibly. So I'm just going to put 3-piece. Okay, Wilton new. There's the number right there. There's 80 of them. That model number. So I don't know if necessarily I want to use that. Cooking, baking. So they're good keywords. So I would use cooking. Probably throw it in the front, kind of mix it up. Baking. Notice I have 58 characters out of 80. I want to use them all up. I'll keep going. Spoon, heat, utensil, spatulas. Yeah, spatula is the plural version. You also want to make sure that that's in there as well. 67 words, characters. We got cook, safe, flexible. So cook, safe, and that's about all we have room for. Three letters left. Yeah, we'll do that. So there you go. If I was to search this title, it looks like a completely different title. Okay, You'll notice it doesn't have the brand anymore, but I can search for it on eBay, and I may get something that's similar. I may not. There they are. But my point is, it's a different title versus these guys using the same brand and the same number, right? You got 0 results found for cooking, baking, silicone spatula set, easy flex 3-piece spatula. So there's no results found, but there is similar content, and these guys are all selling the same spatula. My point in saying this, guys, there's folks selling this all day long. Okay, if you look at this guy here, Yelp Sales Inc., all they're doing is listing items from Amazon. If I click on Advanced and I search by seller and I search his name, I want to know what he sold in the last 5 days, 7 days. It says seller cannot be found. Did I miss something here? Yeah, I forgot it. IMC. Okay, so I just found a new seller, white background. Look at that, right? And all I care about is what he sold, so I'm going to look for the green one. So I hit sold stuff. Here is $89.99 that he sold this item for. I take that over to Amazon, same title, paste it, same product. Sold it for $89.99, but it cost him $47.47. $89.99, $47.47. So what did he actually make on it after eBay and PayPal fees? Let's take a look. He did a fixed price auction. He probably has a premium or anchor store, so we'll just put it right in the middle. Item cost him $47.47 to pick up from Amazon, but he sold it for $89.99, I believe so he sold it for. Yep. So he made a $31 profit. Hey, that's a pretty good profit on one sale. You know, so it's a game of numbers, guys. You know, that's what he sold, that one item, and I can go on and on and show you other examples of the same exact concept. But here's my point. There's folks doing this all day long. Okay, they've been doing this for years, and not just from Amazon, but from Overstock. Okay, we have a software for doing this on the really what we like to call bulk listing. And so we have Amazon keyword scraping tool. We have a multi-scraping tool. We have an Amazon keyword scraper for different formatting of software for Macintosh folks. We have Overstock to do the same thing. And we just released Kmart in the advanced training area. We just released, we're about to release Walmart by the end of the month, so that you guys can really expand yourselves out for the advanced members. Okay, so for new members, what we have is Walmart and Overstock, and I'll continue. You guys just saw this. So let's look at our model here, right? This person lists an item, okay? Never actually bought the item. All they did was copy the image. Went over to buy it now, and this buyer bought it for what? 89 bucks. Okay, so you just made 89 bucks into your PayPal account right in here. Those 30 bucks that you keep, right? That profit that stays with you. You come over here and you ship that item from Amazon over to the customer. The customer's happy. They thank you, and you never physically touch the item. Welcome to dropshipping, guys. It's like when I went down to Vegas and I connected with a couple of sellers. There's this guy that had a really cool business, and what he does is he makes these devices to charge your phone, and I can't even tell you how many times my phone has gone out of battery. So we have these extended battery packs that are solar powered, so they're literally sitting on your dashboard and charging the pack. So while you're walking around, for the ladies that have purses, you can have them in your purse, like your pockets for the men, and then run a USB cable into your phone and then charge it while it's in your pocket. Okay, then when that battery goes dead again, then you can leave it on your dashboard again and let the sun charge it, or go home and charge it itself. So we've all seen these before. Very popular item. I know I'd buy them all day long because there can never be enough battery power to be on the phone or be running around because your kids are watching Netflix on your phone or what have you. So the battery dies quick. And so that could be a very good potential dropship item if you can get it at a very competitive price. Again, what we have done, I'll give you an example. I sold an old HP Palm Pilot. You guys remember those from like the old Windows devices back in the early 2000s. I didn't think it was going to sell, to be honest with you, but I optimized my keywords on there, and I made all 80 characters, like I just showed you guys, full of what had to do with HP Palm Pilot, right? HP Palm, Windows, whatever it was. And I put all the keywords that people search for that are popular, and it sold within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, the item sold. And I was super excited because, you know, it was sitting on my desk. I made 60-something bucks on it, and, you know, it doesn't only work for Amazon. It works for any item that's sitting on your desk right now that's taking up space, and we all have it. And there's nothing wrong with filling up your PayPal account by selling stuff, applying what we're teaching, and we show you how to ship that stuff at a flat rate cost. Very, very cool concept. But if you don't want to leave your house and walk into your mailbox and put the package in your mailbox, you can do the digital way of learning called dropshipping. Either way, there's different ways of making money, different sources of income. I like both because I'm not allergic to money. Some people are just, you know, let's face it, they're lazy. They don't want to leave their house, and that's okay. But, you know, if you guys are running around doing different things, there's different ways that you can really move products and fill up your PayPal account and really see what your profits are, like I just showed you. So this works for shy people like my wife. You know, she wasn't very people, I should say. She's gotten really good now. She's really, really good at breaking through. She actually hired a coach that helped her with certain things in her life, and you know, we've both invested over $10,000 in coaching and applying what we love to call personal growth, and that's why I kind of laugh inside, and not laugh in a way that makes fun of people, but I laugh in a way to say I actually feel sorry for people that shoot down the concept of personal growth, because it really is what helps you get to success. You know, most people that complain, you know, they find themselves back to the same place they don't want to be. They complain about their job, they complain about their manager. They love their job, but if they didn't pay them, they wouldn't go. Most people say, hey, I love my job. They're great. Would you still go if they didn't pay you? And they shut up. They won't answer the question. It's funny. So, guys, you got to do what you love. You guys were born to win, conditioned to lose. Really good video called The Conspiracy of the Rich. It's actually a book by Robert Kiyosaki. Another book called, a video called The College Conspiracy that was put on YouTube. You guys got to watch this stuff, guys. I'm telling you, it would open your mind up. And I became a documentary fanatic. Just got off watching Chipotle, the Chipotle concept. You know, the gentleman who started Chipotle. His whole philosophy is like fresh food in your lap. And basically, you know, they don't like anything that is not organic. And I love his concept. I mean, you really got to watch it. If you have Netflix, watch the Chipotle story, and you'll understand why. You know, we've actually been addicted to Chipotle. It's a good place. We just hit another restaurant today. I love this place. It's called The Garage. The gentleman used to run a tire shop out of there, and took the. I almost want to say he took the Chipotle concept and did it as a brewery mixed with pizza. Okay, and I loved it so much that I was looking to invest into the business. To be honest with you, I was like, hey, would you franchise this thing out, because I think it's the coolest thing. And you're literally making a pizza with all the ingredients right there in front of you. And so you're you know, if you want spinach on there, you can throw spinach on there, and it's all fresh. I'm telling you guys, it's probably the best pizza I've ever tasted in my life. I mean, that's how good it was. And that wasn't the Blue Moon talking either. I'm just talking. I'm just pointing you guys links. But it was good pizza. You guys gotta try it. If you guys are ever in Temecula, I'm gonna take you guys down there. I'm telling you, it's good pizza. You gotta try it. And so, you know, copying it and pasting really led to sales for my wife, and she's changing our iPhones that the more you list, the more you make. I mean, that's the way I was taught, you know. And doing it by hand, guys, I gotta tell you, it's a pain in the butt. You know, if you want to do it by hand, you can do it all day long. But once you understand some of the concepts that I've been looking into in bulk listing, has really helped me create a full-time income for my family. As a matter of fact, I've had a lot of people that think they're smarter than I am. They say, hey, you know, bulk listing actually isn't that great. You know, I can make more money listing by hand. I got off the phone with eBay, and I said, hey, is there really a difference in the rankings of how you make money on eBay, whether you did by hand or you did by bulk listing? She said no. it's actually better if you bulk list because obviously you have more items in your store, and so you make more money. And so that's my philosophy. I said, look, if you're going to go fishing, right, and you want to throw like 10 hooks in the water, so it's a lot better to catch a fish if you have 10 hooks in the water than you have one, right? And so you're going to make the sale faster. That's my philosophy. You know, it's like walking to Walmart. If you can have less items, you know, all you're listing is Legos as an example, then, you know, I want to walk out. I'm not interested in shopping at a dead store. You know, do you love marketing online, guys? We have a system. I mean, we have some of the best marketers, guys, Facebook marketers. I do Craigslist. I have a very successful lead source for Craigslist that I use just me posting up an ad. I got to tell you guys, and I share this, if you guys got an invite from me on the email, I shared this with you on my email. I said, you know, this is probably the best system I can ever market on Craigslist. Number one, you know, all the MLMers out there, the ones that are flagging each other, like a bunch of, you know, Cheshire says cats, you know, they don't care. They don't care about people's business. They don't respect your business. They start flagging you. Okay, that's not Craigslist flagging you on your ad. It's actually your competitors. But when you promote yourself as an eBay coach, oh, man, I got to tell you, it's so much easier. You get some good people through the process, and my ads are still out there. So it's a very effective marketing leveraging Craigslist. And I just shot a new video on how to do that to market on Craigslist, because a lot of things have changed as far as using images and clickable links. So there's different ways of doing that, and you guys will learn that in the inside. Email campaigns for traffic and sales. We actually give you a marketing system that you'll see here shortly. But here's some myths about eBay sales. Most people think they have to be an expert. I can tell you that's far from the truth. My wife isn't very good at computers, guys. I love her to death, but she is not the most technical person on the earth. Okay, and I think that's why this worked out so well, because all she did was, you know, watch a few videos, got the concept down, and then just started duplicating. It's like once you get it down, like anything else, you know, you go to school to learn a new concept, right? It takes you 2 to 3 years, 4 years, some people more, to get a profession. It's the same here. You know, McDonald's, you buy a McDonald's franchise, it costs you $1 million, $200,000 to go to hamburger school, and then you're not in profit mode until like 3 or 5 years later. So I'm not going to say that it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to make profit. We got people making profits in the first day to the first month. So it's really about, number one, your sense of urgency. Number two is, are you willing to put the work and the time in? You know, this is not a lottery ticket. This is work. Okay, if you can work from home and you're okay with working yourself, I always say, and I kind of invented this concept, I said, look, if you wake up every morning, you look yourself in the mirror and you say, can I work with me today? And if the answer is no, then there is something that we need to work on, and there's a possibility that everybody can succeed. But my philosophy is, if you're not willing to let go of the anxiety of not being able to work with yourself, then, you know, maybe it's not the right timing. And that's what I tell folks. Do it part-time until you can really get it going. And then if you want to make it full-time, you know, then you can kind of weigh it out, or what we like to call it in sales, scale it up to the point where now you're ready to be home. You must know internet marketing. I tell you that we got some of the best marketers here. You don't need physical products. I just showed you that other folks are taking images, listing them on eBay, and then making a profit. Only cheap prices products must sell. Not necessarily, guys. You know, that may be true if you're going after the exact same keywords. But if you're competitive and you're changing up the pricing and the model, and if there isn't too much competition, I personally would not sell that spatula. Just so you guys know. You guys saw, I just did a comparison, and there was like, I don't know, 10 different spatulas on there of the same picture. So I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but that's pretty highly competitive. I would not sell it. Okay, I just wouldn't go after that market. If you're searching titles and if they're optimized, and then you have maybe 2 or 3 competitors, that's not a bad thing. Okay, it's nothing wrong with having some competition. So the idea really is that you optimize your titles, and then you're different. When I got off the phone with eBay, I think it was yesterday or the day before, she did mention that having effective keywords that relate to your product are very important. You don't want to keyword spam, which means that if you're listing, like, let's say one of my popular items are Hello Kitties, right? If I'm listing Hello Kitty and it has nothing to do with Hello Kitty but maybe a competing product, then that's called keyword spamming. Like if it's Hello Kitty and I put Beanie Babies on it, but it's not a Beanie Baby. Does that make sense? So that's what you want to do. John, I just read John's comment on Shark Tank. Yeah, you know, John, it's funny that you mentioned that. I love watching Shark Tank. If you guys don't know what Shark Tank is, it's on Friday night. Probably one of the best and only TV shows I watch, and I DVR it for that specific reason. But it's a concept where you come out with an idea, and then you look for investors to do, you know, to grow your business so you can effectively invest into a franchise or even build a, you know, other streams of income. I guess my philosophy is a little bit different, because if it was just me trying to fund this thing, like if you guys notice, I put a lot of money into the system by developing new software. I take the same profit that I make from the memberships and I invest it back into the business. So that's how I've grown my business and made it a little bit different and stronger. In Shark Tank, these guys are looking for probably, you know, anywhere between 50,000 to 150,000 so they can scale up their business. So I guess it really depends what you want to do. But ironically, I ran into the guy who made a sock on Shark Tank out in Las Vegas. It was like a sock that goes over the wine bottles, or like it's weird. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like yeah, it's a sock. That's what it is. It's like a hoodie for your bottle. If you guys remember that guy, I think it was last year's season. He was there at the event promoting. So, okay. So some challenges others are facing, guys, is lack of marketing funds. I can tell you that we teach you enough marketing that you don't need. It's all free. You know, what we teach you is free marketing. There's folks that ask me, hey, do you do pay-per-clicks? I tell them, look, hey, I got 500 people on my list that I can't even get back to in time, so I don't need to do any more marketing. I need some leaders. I need some leaders to step up and say, oh, I'm going to make some phone calls, man. I'm going to help you build this business. That's what I'm looking for. So if you're an old school network marketer, you love the phone like I do, man, God bless you. Come, you make sure you private message me and let's have a conversation, because I need some help. You know, as much as I would love to have more people, you know, help me build the business, we need more help, if that makes sense. So if you're good at marketing and you know how to build leads, that's great. Leads isn't an issue. What's the issue is having enough volume and support, because we do support people here on a small scale. We don't do a mass throwing of memberships, so that you'll notice that if you go to the website, EliteDropshippers.com, you can't even sign up. It says you got to get back to the person who invited you for a specific reason. I don't want you to come through the system and not get mentored by the person who brought you on board. And so there's a mentoring process in the beginning that you would go through, and you follow some very specific examples for that reason. So that's why we set up the system that way. If you guys will notice, that's just the way I like things done, because if you're not given attention and the proper support, then with like anything else, it's like a membership site, like a gym, right? You're going to sign up, and then if it's super cheap, like, you know, $10, $20 a month, like a gym membership, then the pain is not big enough for you to show up, if that makes sense. And it's funny I give this example on the, you guys watch this video on the inside called the Foundation of EDS, and I give the example of CrossFit. You know, I was paying $125 a month for CrossFit, and then I have a gym membership for $10 or $15 a month. I showed up more to CrossFit because it's costing me a lot more monthly than the gym. Why is that? I have no idea how to explain it, but the human mind says, hey, you know what? You're getting a little more support here. You're actually getting there's somebody expecting you to show up, and I think that's the answer. You know, there's somebody holding you accountable, saying, look, I'm willing to give you 48 hours of my time, and you got to give me back 5 listings and show me what you can do in 48 hours. Not everybody meets the 48 hours, guys, but there's certain people that say, you know what, I'm going to do what I can, even if it's just 1 or 2, and I'm going to complete the task in 48 hours. That's my system. You know, other folks on the team tend to do things a little bit differently. I like committed folks. We got 48 hours. As soon as you get started, you're going to get trained, and I want you to have success right off the bat. So that's why I have those being done. So we have Jennifer Sheets on the line, I believe. You're welcome to insert some of your, I believe, are you in North Carolina, Jennifer? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can, and thank you for being on tonight. I know it's 8 o'clock your time, so it's family time. Probably you guys have things that you want to do on Thursday night. So I appreciate your time to be out here with me tonight. And I'd like to bounce ideas off you as well. What do you like so far of EDS? What has EDS done for you?
Oh gosh, I am so thankful for EDS. What it's done for me is it's enabled me to relax a little bit. I was looking for a way to make some money and still have my family time. I just do this part-time, and I have a full-time job, but, you know, an extra $1,000 a month has made things a lot easier for me. And
Beautiful.
I mean, just that time that I can spend with my family, I'm not worried about, oh, can we do this? Do we have enough money to do that? It's just made it a whole lot easier. And I'm just, you know, and I took it slow. I've just been slowly adding on. You know, some people just come in like gangbusters. You know, I've taken a lot of action, but I've not been wanting full-time income like the next day, you know, because I am busy. I have 2 young kids. I work full-time. I have a house to take care of. So, I mean, literally I do a little bit in the evenings, and most of the time I'm on the weekends, finding time when my kids are napping or after they go to bed, or, you know, anytime I can find, I'll get on and add some listings and things like that. But it's
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Gerald, I just saw your comment here that it looks like I'm your mentor and you haven't been added to the team. And I apologize. We just got back from Vegas, so if you join anywhere between that time frame, I was offline. And it looks like you just added me on or sent me a message online. So make sure to send me an email and we can connect. How funny, you're in Vegas, man. We couldn't met up. Gerald, when did you come on board? I apologize. So we've just been so slammed with this event for planning it. So, oh, you haven't yet. Okay. Okay. So I thought. Okay. You're freaking me out there for a second. I thought you had already come on board.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry. I was reading up here. I misread something up here. You said, you know, no one. I haven't contacted you, so you said I was your sponsor. So that's how I took that. So okay. Well, I'm sure John can keep you busy there as I continue here. So thanks again, Jennifer, for coming out and sharing your ideas. So, Gerald, you know, please, you know, keep in contact with John Eman. He will be able to, you know, help you out with any questions. Okay, so guys, we are the Elite Dropshippers. We started off as the exclusive Diamond Club, and then we came out with another system called for Overstock around August of last year. And then instead of having 2 different systems because it became a mess, I decided to join it all together called the Elite Dropshippers. And so we've been around for about 2 years as a system. Very powerful software that still works today. Members choose to either, you know, use the software or do it by hand. It's really up to them. It's how they feel comfortable. I've always liked things to be quicker. You know, I'm a little different. You know, I like to have a little bit of everything, and so we've always coached folks to look at what's selling, like I just showed you on eBay. What is actually selling in the last 7 days? So let's see. Who is the system good for? It's created for the struggling internet and network marketer, part-timers, looking for that to really build that residual in the back end. Guys, this is really what has allowed us to be free. You know, most folks are, you know, they're allergic to calling other people or communicating with other people, right? That's something that I had to get over myself. And I'm not telling folks that it's all timing. You know, I say it's all timing. It's the timing had to be right for me to finally get frustrated with my current situation. And even though I read all the books, listened to all the personal development coaches, it wasn't until I finally snapped my fingers, and I said, actually, my wife actually kicked me in the butt. She said, look, honey, you got exactly 6 months to bring me home. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you just got to take action. You've been playing around with internet stuff for 6 years. You've really got to make this work. And that's when I started to share this information with my list, people that I cared about. And whenever I come across something that makes sense, that I think that most people, when I say most people, I say the average Joes can do it, I want to share with them. And so I figured, let's make this happen. Let's create a system out of this. In the beginning, what I used to do is I used to teach like Chris Kember and JC. I used to teach them all by hand over the computer. And for some folks that require that kind of help, we still kind of do that. We don't like to hold hand a lot of people because you got to realize there's a lot of other people out there that need our help. But if you are a worker, okay, and you're not allergic to work, I think that most people can get this going if they just apply themselves, if they review the information twice, 3 times, and then you can actually go to work and then build your store up. And there's some cases where you require some support. And so we have a Skype room that you'll learn about. We have a Facebook support group. It's a place for you to ask questions, but not to get held your hand to all the information that's already answered in the videos. Okay, so if you have a problem watching a training video, this may not be the system for you because that information is really what has allowed us to expand and become a system. And I always say a system is a system because that's why it grows. The moment that you start breaking away from the system, it's like trying to change McDonald's stream of food. Okay, then you're breaking the model, and then everything falls apart. And so that's why we have a system to duplicate ourselves, which I think is a good thing for folks that are, folks that are looking to build a business as a business. Then this can be a great way for you to leverage your time because I've done all the work for you. Don McIntyre has done all the work for you. Jennifer on this call has done the work for you. We have all shared some nuggets, information that helps people build their business. And so there's always different ways to expand. Okay, stay-at-home moms and dads, I mean, that's what we shop for, guys. Not everybody wants to quit their job. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit arrogant when it comes to the job market. That's because I went through some stuff, guys. I went through some struggles. And I kind of sold the fact that I am psychologically unemployable to myself. Okay, I became that person that says, hey, you know what? I think that if I can have my time freedom back, I can wake up when I want to wake up, I can work when I want to work, and I can crunch what I used to make in one day, I can crunch it down to a couple hours, okay, whether those hours are during the day or if they're at night. And so that was my goal, and when I achieved that, I said, wow, this is pretty cool, this stuff works. I got to keep watching The Secret or plugging into more personal development because everything they told me was absolutely correct. It was just one day it just happened. And I don't know when that day is going to happen for everybody, but it'll happen if you shoot for it. And that's what I can promise you. It'll happen if you shoot for it. If you set a clear defined goal, you write it down like I did. Okay, my first goal was to make an extra $2,000 in the beginning. I remember that day I wrote down my whiteboard. I said, I want to make $2,000 this month. I don't know how it was going to happen. I just knew that I was just going to go and do the work that it took to get there. And I focused on money, income, I should say income producing activities, whether it's the eBay side or whether it's talking to people and more people that were interested in doing the eBay information. And so that's what really set us free, guys. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, all I did was eBay. No, I actually built a team. I built a team because we do have a very lucrative comp plan residual income system that allows you to leverage your time of what you learn and go help other people do the same thing. Okay, so that's freedom for me in my eyes. And you can all do that. You all have the opportunity to do that. College students, okay, if you're going to college and you're just looking for a simple way to just make an extra few, 500 to like Jennifer's case, she's part-time, an extra $1,000 to some folks that are full-time are making $4,000 to $5,000 a month and beyond. I don't know what your goals are. Everybody has different goals. Again, that's why I ask you. Folks ask me all the time, what can I make with this system? I have absolutely no idea what you can make with the system. I can tell you what I can make with the system, but not necessarily exactly going to be what you're going to make. And so, and it doesn't really matter what anybody else makes on the system because you can't spend their money. So my question to you is, what can you do and focus on for the next 90 days? Give the system at least 90 days to a year. And if you can make it happen, hey, God bless you. Go bless other people and do the same thing. But if you're in it to just do it for 30 days and come back and go jump onto another new system, please don't even bother looking at what we're doing, because we're looking for somebody that understands how to give and be the go-giver, if that makes sense. People looking for that team support, guys, and I think this is the perfect feeder system for anything that can attach to any system. If you're involved with another network marketing company or another, if you're involved with an MLM system, I would say, that should be what you want to do as your long-term goal. Great. People have passions for different things. A health and wellness company. I know a lot of great people in the health and wellness market, in the beauty, skin care department, folks that are involved in legal services, you name it. Everybody has a different passion. Go after that passion, but maybe this can be like your feeder, if that makes sense. Something that can just feed your family so that you can have more time to do what you want to do. So the secret tips, guys, I showed you that are cool software to optimize their titles. I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on it. I can just tell you that most people won't spend what I spent on it, because I really wanted to have two different options. Let me show you the other one real quick, since we're on this topic. This guy here, this tool here, I just showed you the keywords. It also shares on the right-hand side what category it goes into. And you'll need this later on when you start using our bulk listing software to know what number that is. So it's over here on the right-hand side. You'll see that this number falls into the category of the home and garden, kitchen, dining and bar, kitchen tools, and gadgets, cooking utensils. 20649 is the ID number. Okay. If I was to take that same concept and go over to the title builder, this one also accepts 2 to 4 keywords, which I recommend you stay with. Hit search, and you'll notice that it pulls up 20649, same idea numbers, home and garden, kitchen department, and keywords on the left-hand side. This one doesn't give you as many keywords, but it still gives you the popularity in the green bars. It tells you how popular that keyword is. So, whichever one you feel comfortable with using, you got 2 different options there as a tool. And just want to show you that's how popular our searches are in keywords. You want to use a custom software developed in-house to save time. I can go on and on. We just finished a Kmart tool, guys, not too long ago. That's in the advanced section. I'm only going to talk about the basic section today because most folks don't have a store that, again, I don't know what your intentions are or what your goals are, but if you're going to do this full-time, you may want to consider going to the advanced section because it's going to have a lot more different suppliers that you can use. But if I was to just do a keyword search, okay, and I am in here, and I'm going to search for, and the reason we have a store option here, guys, because there's different price points that you get paid on. So you want to compensate for which store you have. You either have a basic store, premium, or anchor. A lot of folks have. I've actually had a new gal that just got started with us ask us, hey, should I get a store? A basic store is $16, okay, per month, and they give you 150 listings included. And I would recommend starting at least the basic. The fees are a lot less. I think it's 50 cents if you don't have a store per listing, and it's 20 cents if you have at least a basic store. Okay, and the fees may have changed. I know premium was used to be 10 cents, maybe. I believe it's 15 cents for premium per listing, and then anchor is 5 cents. But most folks aren't going to jump into that store. They're going to start off with a basic store. I have a premium store. I'm going to go with my email, where you want to get paid at. Okay. And then the query, like what query do you want to search for? So I want to look for camping tents, right? And that's going to be in what department? The sporting goods department. And then give me all the tents from the price range of $35 all the way to $250. How much profit do you want to make? So you do at least $12, and then the best offer, which is like how low of a price you would take in profit, is let's do $5. And then give me 100 of those items at a quantity of 1, and let's go. So I'm going to generate a file real quick, and then you'll notice that it's saving at the top here. I'll drop it on my desktop. And we're done. I mean, that took less than a couple minutes, right? And it looks like in that price range and then that search, I may have wanted to remove camping and just put tents. I'm trying to give me more words. They only give me 12 items. So you'll notice here in this example, I have 12 items. Image-wise, has all the images included. So this will go straight into eBay. Let me show you what that image looks like. Hey, there's a nice tent, right? Nice tent. All right. If I want to look at the next tent, I just go down, paste that image. There's the next tent. And this is called bulk listing, right? I have one file ready to go into eBay, and it has a tent ready to be dropped. There's the other tent right there. And I can go on and on. And these are all different tents. Okay? And this is what I do. For folks that are in EDS already, this is a great way, especially if you're on the Mac and you're using Turbo File Exchange. What I do is I copy the title, and I go over to my title tool. I go to title tool right here to the title builder at the very top, and then notice that 45 characters. And so what I'm going to do is remove this, and then just put camping, Bighorn tent, and then get the query. And my goal is to not pass 80 characters, especially on File Exchange files. For folks that are on the Mac, eBay will ignore all files that are over 80 characters. So you want to make sure you stay under 80 characters. That's very important. So here's the first word, big, right? I already have it in there. We have tent. We have camping. I'm going to remove that slash in there because I don't want that in there. I'm going to add horn. Let's see what else we have in here. Person, cabin, room. We have person, cabin, room. What else do we have in here? We have, hiking, outdoor. So we have hiking, outdoor, right? These are all related words. 79 characters, perfect. Okay, watch this. Watch this, guys. Okay, I'm going to replace that title with that many characters. So notice that 79 characters, I'm going to move the width of this field right to where 79 characters is at, which is right there. So that means the last 3 listings are way over, and these will be ignored. So you want to make sure you modify these. Did you guys get that? Okay, Jennifer, glad you shared that. Yeah, I mean, it's in case, I mean, I don't know if you guys do it. It's just something I look at and I say, okay, if I adjust this, I know that that's going to be my max width. You want to make sure you don't pass 80 characters. That's a great way of doing it. It's all you have to do is check that first one with your 80 characters, and then come back, and then boom, adjust that for these. And you would do the same for the other guys. And again, taking out brand names and model numbers are exclusive. Very. You want to be different, right? That's the key thing. And so Browning might be a brand. I don't know if it is or not, so I'd probably replace that with hunting. Hunting, right? And out of curiosity, if I want to see my competition, this is how you do it. Go back to eBay, click on the eBay logo at the top, and then you go over to the search and then paste that new title that you just created right in here. So these look different. Let me double check my image. Yeah, they look completely different. This guy is completely different than the one I have here. Notice that these have a different image. So I can compete against these guys, and notice that I have 0 results for hunting, camping, bighorn, family. Actually have hunting in there twice. I can remove that. Tent, cabin room, hiking, and outdoor. So I have hunting in there twice, so you don't want to have double keywords. but you get the idea. Okay, you get the idea. And then most folks are like, oh, okay, so here's the description. This field right here is the description. For new folks, this might look like Chinese to you, but I promise you that all the training is in there on how to do this. But this is the HTML code of how to place everything in there. The product description is in there. The title's in there. All the stuff that you need, all the goods is inside this file. You don't need to figure it out. And if you're curious to see what this looks like, there's a lot of online, what do you call them, HTML viewers. So you just right-click, copy. Okay, all I'm doing is copying that field. I might head over to HTML viewer. There's one called online HTML editor.html right there. So I'm going to paste that guy in there. Paste, and look at that. That's how my item will look. So there's the product features. Okay, all clean for you in bullet points. There's the product description. Okay, and then there's the free shipping and then handling time and all the mumbo jumbo that eBay has requested us to place in our listings. So that's for your protection. And that's the gist of it. You know, that is really the key thing. And you're going to learn some other tricks in here, what we do with this file. But for the most part, I wanted to show you what that looks like. We used to have the image of the item inside, and the reason we don't have that anymore is the reason that you're going to learn the inside why we don't do it anymore. I can't give that secret away, but there's a lot of different reasons why, but you'll learn some stuff. I guarantee you. It's going to help you make more sales. Okay, so we are done with this file. That's the camping tent file. And again, I can almost have a feeling if I was to change, where'd it go? Yeah, if I was to change this to just tents, and I would have done 100, I should have gotten a lot more because I was very specific. So I'm just going to do the non-plural version, and I'm going to remove camping. And that should give me about 100. There we go, see? So you have to be very specific, and there's your 100 and something listings. It shows 102, but who's complaining? It pushes it down one line, so you just got to remove that line. There you go. There you go. Okay, so there's that tool. eBay does all this product trafficking marketing for you, so you know, how do you get more traffic to your store? You'll learn some ways that will teach you, but for the most part, they do all the traffic for you. They get people over there. There's a lot of people that feel loyal to eBay, so that's huge for them to be shopping on eBay. And Charlotte says she can't hear me. Is that true? John, can you hear me okay? Okay, Jennifer can hear me. Thanks, Jennifer. Jennifer, do you want to say anything about the software, the bulk listing software? How has that helped your business?
Yeah, I can talk about that.
Thanks.
The software is awesome. It is such a time saver. If you've ever tried to list anything on eBay one by one, I mean, it seems to take forever. Where I get on there and do, 10 or 20 of a similar object to sell, and it just makes it so much easier. You could do. It probably takes a fourth of the time than it would doing it one by one.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that folks understand that.
The keyword scraper is really good, but I like the one where you plug in your SKUs because I just like to look and research items and stuff too.
Oh, okay, perfect. So since Jennifer's over here twisting my arm, I got to show that tool now. What she's referring to is a SKU scraper, and we call it the multi-scraper tool as well. That's this guy right here. And essentially what this tool does is it allows you to pull very specific items versus just running one keyword in there, kind of like what I did here with this guy. And so if I was to go very specific, there's different ways of doing it. We recommend for new folks to sell what is currently selling from other top sellers. And so I'll give a quick example, okay? So I'm going to go really fast on this part because it takes me about 5 minutes to do. So just pay close attention here, okay? I talked about this earlier, so let me talk about that. We're going to search what he sold in the last few days, and it looks like he sold this open box Panasonic uncooked rice cooker. Okay, going to take the description of that guy, search over on Amazon. That's the title. Notice there's the cooker. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take the ASIN, which is the model number from this item, right in here. Going to go over to text edit, built inside of Macintosh. If you're on the Windows PC, it's called Notepad, and then we want to make sure we are in the make plain text format. I paste this my first item. Go back to my awesome seller who just sold this other item called the Happy Retirement Balloons for $7.90, and I want to see what that item is selling for, probably about $5 or so. And Happy Retirement Balloons, this guy right here. Yep, there they are. Okay, so $5.09. That looks pretty close. And then we'll take this guy here, the ASIN, again, go back over here and paste it in there. So I'll do those two examples for now, just for conversation's sake. And then we'll save on desktop, and we'll call this the top seller sale items or something. And then at the text file, we'll save it. Go to our multi-scraper tool. I'm going to upload that file that I just saved on my desktop. Okay. Notice I hit upload, and then I'm going to go to the File Exchange scraper because I'm on a Macintosh. Triple listers for Windows. So there we go. Same idea as before. I have a premium store. I have my PayPal email in there, my initials, and how much profit do I want to make on this item. Because they're lower selling items, I'm just going to do $7, and then I'll take the best offer of 2. Stock quantity of 1, and let's scrape. And then there's the file right there. I'm going to download that file into my desktop, and the CSV file gets sent into eBay on the File Exchange, not through anything else but eBay. And the only thing you have to do on this item, on this title, is notice that the title's here. There's the balloons. There's the rice cooker. The categories have to be inserted here. Okay, that's something that I showed you earlier, how to find those category numbers. They're on that list. And here's the images that will get sent in. Here's the profits that you would make, or rather what you want to sell them for. Okay, and then here is the description information, which I showed you earlier. So if I was to, again, copy this guy here, and then head over to our HTML editor, highlight that, paste it, you will notice that it has product features and product description in here. So this one has a lot of content, actually comparing different ones there. So that's all the information that's pulled. So a lot of content, a lot of rich text that is searchable on Google. If you guys are good with SEO, that's why we do H1 tags on these guys up here. You'll learn about that later on how to modify your titles on both the the main file in that. And there you have it. There you have it. So folks ask me, always double check your prices. They ask me like, how do I know if the scraper tool is actually giving me the right profit? There's some items that don't have a certain list price, so that it may throw it off. So 87.77. If I punch that in here, is what's going to cost me from Amazon. 87.77, right? And I think the tool had it for 106.97. 106.97. And you'll notice that there's a profit here of $6.17, which is a little bit less than $7, but I'm not mad. I think that's that's still good to list. It's not, you're not going to be in the red. But always consider that even though you'll make more on the sale, you've got to keep in mind that there's eBay and PayPal fees that are being compensated in here. The software does not save you. The software compensates for those, so it's only going to show you the profit. But you want to make sure that that you keep track of this. And there's actually a good section in our training on how to do that by Robin. That's under the, if you go to the Home Department under Amazon Dropship Training, you'll receive that right in here under keeping track of profits right there. So it's eBay processing a sale, and really keeping track of profits, you won't have to worry about that until you actually make the sale, but that's why it's in that section, okay? So I just showed you an example of how to grab very specific items that are currently selling. We optimize those items so that the price doesn't matter, and I'm going to repeat that. We optimize the titles so that the price does not matter what you list them for. I don't recommend you try to go make a $100 profit, especially on $7 item, but you want to be, in the ballpark of $7 to $20 profits range, if that makes sense, for the lower end items. Once you're listing items that are $200 and above, you can make $50 to $100 plus in profit. But I do not recommend that for brand new members, especially because you do have, as a new member, if you don't have an old eBay account, they can look at you as a risk, and so they hold the funds until the customer receives the item. And once the item is received, then you get your profit, your money in the account. You get access to that money within 3 to 5 business days. And that's about a 90-day period, okay? So that's why I say give your business 90 days, really build it up. 5,000 in sales, 25 feedbacks will get you out of that jail, okay? So that is the key thing to keep in mind if you do have a brand new eBay account. If you don't, if you have an old eBay account from the 90s and you sold, your old 80s toys or whatever like I did, then you can leverage that account and you can list as much as you want, and you should have access to your money right away. Okay, so the system that we created is like no other, guys, that people really love. No need to talk to friends and family unless you really care about them and you want to show them a better way or, a different stream of income, and you do get compensated for that. So we looked at our training system. It takes you about 30 minutes to an hour to really get going on the training. When I coach new people, this is what I have them do. Okay, this is what I have them do. I said, look, step 1, watch this video here. It's 22 minutes long. It's not that hard, but it's going to teach you why I'm so passionate about this system, why it was created, and why we've helped quite hundreds of people in the last few years. Okay, fast start is the second section. You're going to complete 8 steps here, and then the last step is you're going to move on to the Amazon training. On the Amazon training, you're going to complete modules 1, 1A, and then 2A called listing an item, and I want you to stop right here in this section. Okay, I don't want you to continue, and people ignore me all the time, and they go off and watch everything, and they get overwhelmed. I want you to stay focused. I'm speaking to my ADD folks here because we can connect here, right? I can relate. I want you guys to focus and stop at 2A. Okay, watch that video, study it at least 3 to 4 times, because that's the key on listing your items. But before you list any items, you want to make sure you complete the add taxes to your items, because there are some states out there where you sell that you will get hit with taxes when you go buy the item for that specific state. So if you ship it to a customer, let's say in Texas, taxes are 8%. You have to pay the 8% when you buy the item, so you want to make sure that you sell it at the same 8%, so you cover yourself on the profit. Very, very key. Okay. We have a marketing system, guys, that some of you have looked at. Okay, you've seen a hand drawing, or you've seen my face talking about the story of why we do what we do, and you got invited to that system. I'm going to encourage you to get back to that person as soon as possible to get started. That person has spent time to build their list, share with their loved ones, Facebook, what have you, and so you want to make sure you get back with them if this is something that you want to, add to your lifestyle right now as a way to make an extra income. We have a lot of fun here. It's not very difficult, like I mentioned. Sometimes it's too simple, I think, that it may go over people's heads, and they rather just talk on the phone all day long with other people. I don't know, or they want to try jumping from company to company. I've dealt with all walks of life, guys, all different personalities. So there isn't something that you can throw at me that I haven't dealt with. But I will tell you that I'm allergic to negative people. And so if you're negative, and maybe you don't know it, and you're having some struggles, then I would say, there's a place for everything. And we all have challenges, right? I mean, I don't care. I have challenges in business. It's part of life. And I always say, if you don't have any challenges in your business, you're not in business. We all have challenges even in our jobs, and so when we're dealing with people, that is the people industry. It's part of the business. So the marketing side, it will require you to help people out for the first 30 to 60 days to get them going, and really pour your heart into them. And so if that's something you like to do, right? If you like to referral market and not just throw them in, but really spend time with them to get them going, then this might be something that you can be attracted to. This might be something that you can add to yourself. I mentioned the Skype room. We have a Skype room where you can get a lot of support and no distractions. We also have a Facebook group. You guys looked at our scraping tools. Okay, our model is a simple 2 affiliate payout system. When I talked to PayPal, because we were using PayPal as a funding source, they said we don't like multi-level, and we've all heard some horror stories about multi-level stuff, and so I wanted to make sure that we kept a straight affiliate type system. There's no binary here. There's no unilevel. There's no funny different qualification plans. It's just a straight affiliate, guys. You refer somebody, they stay active on the membership level up front and monthly. I'm going to pay you. My wife and I will pay you. She handles all my accounting, by the way. My wife handles all the accounting and all the sponsoring shifts, so there's problems. You make sure you contact her. She handles the payouts. 50% for Jeff. Let's just take an example here. You refer Jeff, I'm going to pay you 50%. And then Jeff refers Kim, you get paid 10% because most likely Jeff is still new and Kim needs some help, and so that's where you're going to put some time into it. And I think that's fair enough. That 60% goes up to the marketing force. Most people ask you, is that even, can you say sustainable? Can you keep the company going that way? And I say, yeah, I'm not a big spender. I don't drive big fancy cars. We live a very simple lifestyle. We do have a mortgage. I paid off 2 cars, so I'm not really hurting. And so my money goes back into the company. I think the majority of my money goes back into the company to keep it growing, and that's why we're releasing new software for you guys to support. So I want you guys to refer. I want you guys to feel at home and at ease to refer new members. And that is the system there. So what does the system actually cost? What is it going to cost to get involved? Okay, we're coaching 25 people this week, guys, and I guess the immediate steps to take action is really get back to the person that invited you. This PowerPoint, for some reason, does not have my cost PowerPoint, so it must have been the other one that was crashing. But to get involved, it's currently discounted at $397. I've had leaders tell me, hey, you know what, Cesar, people are not really taking it seriously at $397 up front, so we should raise the price. And so I've been debating back and forth, and it's still up in the air, but for now, it is what it is. As of tonight, it's $397. I think you get more value tonight than what you've seen before. I covered a lot of different software tonight, and I haven't even gotten to the Overstock section, which has a lot of back-end money. And Jennifer can talk about the back-end money, but you know, $397, guys. You know, that's a PlayStation. That's not even Xbox One PlayStation for your kids. That's a $500 system. You know, for $400, you can learn how to make $500 to go buy one, leveraging other people's money. Okay, and that's what it costs to get trained tonight, and then to stay active. The reason there's a residual portion to this is because there is a membership fee. To get the training and to get the software, it's $397, and then $97 a month. Okay, as long as you stay active. Now, $97 a month. If you're like Jennifer doing it part-time, making $1,000, it's not a big deal. I mean, that's less than 1% of her income, or I should say 10%. So that's something that you guys can think for yourself. If you're committed and you got time, part-timers are doing 2 hours a day. I'd say full-time folks are doing 4 or 5 hours and beyond for their business. It really just depends on how you want to break it down. If you say, man, Peter, $397 is a far stretch for me right now, great. I say go find 2 people that want to do it with you, okay, and then refer them, and then you can cover your fees and your costs. You can get that paid for. So that's on the monthly and the upfront and the monthly as well, right? 50% commission. So you do the math. Half of $397 is $200, right? $198.50. Okay, that's up front, and then the monthly as well. So there is your breakdown. You got the upfront commission as well as the monthly residual that can literally set you free if you go out and help people get what they want. Okay, Zig Ziglar, one of my favorite mentors, he says, you help enough people get what they want, you'll have absolutely everything that you want. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So, definitely get back. We're coaching 25 people this week. My goal is to get to a certain number of students and then maybe taper it down because I don't want to manage too many people, if that makes sense. So we'll close the doors maybe in the future, but as of now, I'm not looking to get to 100,000 members because that's not fair for the other members, right? That's too much competition. So we want to make sure we keep some of these tools and information to ourselves exclusively. And so if I can get to 500 to 1,000 members, I think I'd be pretty happy there at that point. Okay, I think 1,000 members would be a nice number. If I get to 2,000 members, that'd probably be around where I want to stay as a max. And the reason for that is because we're working with Payoneer. Some of you know what Payoneer is. It's a payout system. It's a global payout system that's international that would solve a lot of our international concerns for members that live in the outside skirts of Canada and UK. I would say like in Panama or some countries like these that have trouble with PayPal because of the address issues and stuff. So we've been made aware that Payoneer, we're in the process of working with Payoneer right now. They're reviewing our information, and so I'm working with them. The other alternative is iPayouts as well to get paid through the system. But I actually like Payoneer. I've been using them for years, and so I feel more comfortable using Payoneer. iPayout may be a second idea as an alternative. So, all right. I mean, I can go on, guys. I mean, I've shared some great stories, great people. Greg Roberts out there in Houston, Texas. Aries and Chris Airhus, Chris and Adi Airhus, I believe is how you pronounce it. And out in San Antonio, Texas, Chris does it as part-time. He's a triathlete. He's twisting my arm, convincing me over text to become a triathlete, and I'm actually considering it. The signs are clear. My uncle Vince is involved in bicycling, and I'm thinking I may get involved in becoming a triathlete because of Chris pushing me there. He doesn't do it on purpose, but it's looking attractive. There's a lot of cyclists here in the city I live in, and it's looking great. And thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you saying that. I do add a lot of value to the system. And by the way, guys, if let's take Gerald as an example because he likes being active on the chat. If we take Gerald as an example, and he says, hey, I got this idea that would make it faster. Can you make a software for it? I've had folks do that, and I do. I go out and put the money into developing the concept for you to help not only you but the rest of the team. And that's really the intention is help everybody out because ironically sales get attracted to your business faster because you're out there helping people. So there you have it. Katie Vega, great, single mom of 5 beautiful kids, and she has been our #1 sponsor in the system for the last few months. Chris Smith is just right behind her. So, I say this. I say, recruiting is not a bad deal as long as you pour your heart into people and you show them the system that duplicates. I think that helps people grow. They're not questioning whether what I teach and what you teach is different, and so that's the cool thing. The second thing is we need recruiters, right? That's with any system. We need folks to build a team up, and I have no problem paying you guys, $200 up front and $50 a month for that person, as long as you keep it going. I mean, you have to fulfill what your needs are, right? And so if money is an issue, you got to get really good at recruiting, or get really good at listing items, one or the other. But you cannot make excuses and make money, if that makes sense. None of these folks that you see here have made excuses and not made money. And so, rather, they made excuses and made money. It's not possible, right? So someone actually told me that. You can't do both. So, final steps, guys, this is really the key thing for me that is dear to my heart, is when I went out in Vegas and every single person that was there to say, man, I appreciate you putting the system together, Cesar. It has blessed my family in a big-time way. And I've tried many different things on the internet, but this has been the only thing that's been consistent for the last 2 years. That hits home for me, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been in that position where you really want to help people out, but haven't really found a system that you can do so. And I think that's where things started changing for me, is when I saw the big picture. And when I developed software, I said, I can keep the software to myself so that my wife can crush the competition, but why would I do that? And so maybe I just have a different philosophy of life. We're all a little bit different. I remember working for a corporate company, and one guy was so scared of sharing his ideas because he didn't want anybody to take away from them. I don't know where that mindset came from. Actually, I do. It's a longer conversation than we have time for tonight, but you do not want to get in that mindset, guys. You have to have the abundant mindset, give value and a lot of value, and then you shall receive a lot more back. It's amazing how that works. Yeah, scripture, as a matter of fact. So spend more time with family, guys. Quit your job, go travel. These are some of the dreams that people want to do. You want to buy a new car, buy a house, which is what we did, guys. We struggled, literally back in 2008 for a few years trying to save our house that we put so much money into, and we got caught up in the whole market of what happened in the mortgage crisis. That we just qualified 3 years later for a new house, or rather another house, and perfect city where we want to raise our kids in, good people that live in this town. And we were super blessed to have the system pay for our needs, if that makes sense, and wants too. So if you guys follow me on YouTube, I'll just throw this out there. Some people might think this is a stupid idea, but I've always wanted these shoes that Michael J. Fox wore in Back to the Future 2, right? And they're called Nike Mags. And when I received them, they weren't exactly like the movie. So there's this whole team online that shows you how to modify the shoes, and so I went in there and started modifying the shoes, and this guy says, I can do it for you. It's going to cost you about $2,000, and I had the money, I could pay them, but I thought it was kind of, I don't know if I was going to call it cheap, but I just didn't want to spend $2,000 on the shoes, and so I wanted to just do it myself, and I ended up doing it, and it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. But my point is, I would not have that time to work on some of these cool little electronic projects that I like working with my mind and my hands if I didn't have the time away from a job. Does that make sense? And so that was my goal, was not to go back to work. I actually hated the job I worked at. Some of those people were pretty cool people, but it's not somebody I would hang out with every single day. And unfortunately, we're forced to at a job. And it's amazing to me of how many people complain about making money from home, okay, multiple streams of income. I don't care where it comes from. And they still complain. And I've had personal attacks on me, guys, of people complaining about me. I say, look, guys, why are you attacking me? You guys are the ones that came to me for ways to make money. You shouldn't be attacking me for ways of making money. because I'm building my dreams and following my passions, not for your benefit, but for mine. You know, if your benefit is to make money from home and fulfill your dreams, I will give you the tools and the system, but I don't want to tell you what dreams you have to chase after. That's your job. You know, that's what you want to do. And so my point in saying this, guys, is that, you know, everybody's got different dreams. Everybody's got different goals, but we should never put down other people's for their passions and their dreams, okay? I know it's a long-winded story there, but, you know, the shoes were one of my passions. I finally fulfilled that passion, got them done. My kid inspired me, my oldest son, Caesar. He loves that movie, Back to the Future, too, and, you know, the future, as they say, is now. So you can do whatever you want if you set your mind to it. We've all heard of that before, right? And so now the matter is, what the missing variable is you. It's like, what do you want to create? You want to create more time? You want to go travel, spend more time with your family? What are you going to do with that cash once you have it? Okay, do you want to buy widgets, you know, gadgets that are here today and gone tomorrow, or do you want to build a legacy? You know, whatever you want to do, you know, God bless you, go do it. You know, do you want to give it to a charity or start one? You know, on the way to Vegas, guys, I don't know how many people asked me, 2 people. I used to flicker to the fact that, you know, people ask me for gas, and I don't understand why people always complain. Why it's always at the gas stations. But I ended up just doing it, you know. I gave a guy some money to fill up his gas tank. I actually filled up another lady's gas tank, and it still bothered me, the fact that, you know, her story. But I wasn't going to be the person that judged her. Does that make sense? She told me she went to Vegas because her mom died, and they had no money to go back to San Diego. But the car's plates were from Vegas, you know. So I wasn't going to sit there and judge her. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to fill up her gas tank, and I'm going to get on my way without questioning it. Before, I would say, hey, you know what, I don't have any cash, sorry, can't help you. But, I mean, you know, when you have money, guys, you got to go out and bless other people. It's not judge them. I figure, you know, God will take care of me later on in different ways, and that's just the way things are. So whatever charity you want to do, you want to start one, go do it. Moises, another great engineer friend out there in Puerto Rico, him and his girlfriend, Diomari, are running their eBay business. They've been very successful. They're super happy. He just approached me and said, hey, I'm looking for ways to get this out there. I really want to scale up my recruiting. I want to go out and coach some people. So I'm proud of him for reaching out to me. So we'll be working together on some ideas. Dawn McIntyre, she couldn't be on the webinar tonight because she says her husband doesn't really ask her for much. But tonight, he wanted brownies. So this business can really give you the time that you want with your significant other. Maybe I'm a little too out there, but I like being home with my wife all day, guys. I married my wife for a specific reason. Not to be at a job, but to be with her. And so my goal was, I put it out there. And so you guys talking about setting goals, this is what I did. I said, look, by age 30, before you hit age 30, and we're 5 years apart, I said, you will not have to work anymore. And my goal was to do that by age 35. And so, you know, thank God I don't have to do that. You know, obviously, I'm always on the hunt for multiple streams of income to make sure that I protect my family. You got to do what you got to do to protect your family. If your goal is to build this as a business full-time, you can do it. If you got other projects that you're doing, whatever you want to do, you know, this can be, again, a way for you to build your dreams. And Dawn is out there doing it by making brownies for her husband. I love it. So tools you need, guys, you got to at least know how to install a computer program. You got to be familiar with Excel, or you got to have a willingness to learn how to, you know, do some simple concepts. I just showed you Excel. I'm not very bright on Excel. I told you I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. There's a guy who actually invented a formula named Paul Norris from the UK. Pretty cool. That's helped some folks really convert their titles faster. And that's all in the advanced section. You got to be coachable, guys. You know, that's something that that's key. I say that's the most important thing to anything else besides the technical stuff. You got to learn how to be willing to let go of what you already know. I've had folks come from other systems and say, hey, I've already listed 5 items up. Here's the items. And they look absolutely nothing like what we teach. So I tell them, look, I hate to tell you this, but that's not what we teach. So go watch the modules like I told you and duplicate what we teach, and then come back and then tell me what you learned, because that's the way I teach, guys. If you're not willing to follow the system, you're essentially wasting your money. So once you find a better way and you teach me that, and you're making more money than I am, then great. I'm willing to listen. But at this time, you're here for a reason to learn, and that is called a system. So be coachable, please. Don't do it your own way in the beginning. If you want to go taper off like some of my leaders have done and build their own teams and systems and teach them a little bit different, hey, you know what? I can't control, stop that. That's just what they decided to do. But in the beginning, learn the system. And we do have a new student orientation. When you get started with us tonight, I'll give you that link so you can watch and educate yourself. Internet connection guide. Yes, Carla, the engineer in me, that's right. My Aunt Carla says the engineer in me. So, yeah, John, I like that phrase. Money is like manure. It's no darn good unless you spread it around. That's true. By the way, manure does plant and fertile the soil, so it can go out there and help a lot of people. We're all seeds, if we will. So you got to make sure you have a good internet connection, guys. I know when we were struggling, we lived up in the mountains, and that was not a very good place for internet. So I used to use a cell phone and share the internet from the cell phone over to my computer in the house, and then that computer would hook up to a router, and then shoot out the internet connection to all of us. And it wasn't before long that AT&T shut me down on my unlimited speeds, and so I had to find an alternative. So if you live in a very rural area, make sure that you have access to at least a DSL speed, 1 megabit, 2 megabits, or faster. If you're on dial-up, it may take some. It's not a lot of heavy data that you're uploading, but especially with text file. The cool thing about the bulk listing tool is that you're not uploading images, whereas if you were to do one by one, you would be saving the image. That takes time. And this way, it's actually just a link to the image, which gets pulled into eBay. Your computer is running smoothly, guys, if you have a slow computer. One of my new gals actually has, first thing I saw on her computer was it had hypertext on everything on my website for all the keywords. And I'm saying, well, your browser's infected. You got to be careful. Okay, if your browser's infected, you got to clean that up. Okay, so final step, guys, is you can be our next success story if you choose to. Okay, we are a teamwork environment. We help each other out. We ask that you become a leader once you get trained and get blessed by someone helping you. Give back to them. We do ask that you don't side Skype with anybody but your mentor, which means on Skype, don't try to, bug people that are not part of your team, if you will, directly. If you're sponsored by a sponsor, get back to your sponsor and say, hey, I'm stuck. I need some help. But if you have a very specific question and it's not covered in the videos, then you can drop the question either on Facebook, main chat, or Skype. We've had some folks actually build and teach different things on site Skype, and it becomes a mess, guys. It's not the system, and so we ask that you respect that and then ask questions all into the main room, not only for your benefit but for other people to learn as well. So, so here's the deal, guys. Get back to the person who invited you in the next 3 hours and ask for that link to get started. They'll give you some very specific guidelines. I've actually posted them, what I send out to my leads to get started. And once you get started, I will, or your sponsor will review your items after you list them. And you can knock those out today, no problem. And make sure to send me a friend request on Facebook or Skype or both, and we'll get you guys access to the orientation that we did not too long ago to cover the inside of the back office to kind of get you on the right track. So with that said, you guys have a fantastic night. I did mention that I had a conversation with eBay about listing items, and they looked at my listings to review. They liked everything that we have inside the listing. They did mention that listing as good till canceled would actually not be on the best match for whatever reason. She told me that. So that's something we're testing. We're going to test it with 30 days, and what that means is that you would have to relist your items every 30 days on your phone or on your computer. On the plus side to that as well is that there are no listing fees when you renew for a specific amount of items, depending on your store. And so for brand new members, you don't have to worry about that. That might be over your head, but this is just something I'm sharing with the team. That I'll be testing this. I'm actually testing this with a few people to see how that goes. And if there's more traction, there's more sales, then I will make that modification. The other topic that we talked about, I'm trying to think here for a second. Jennifer, do you remember the other topic? My mind is kind of fried right now. There's a couple things that I spoke to her about, and I posted into the room for the leaders. Do you guys remember that?
What was that? I missed that.
Oh, no problem. I was talking about the conversation I had with eBay about the changes that they recommend for us to move more product faster.
Oh, it was, I think the main thing was the 30-day thing that we were going to test out. And I don't know. That's a good question.
It's it totally it totally went over my mind. So I know she reviewed. Let me think. So she reviewed my listing. I know the common one is always look at your competitors, but titles, we mentioned titles, don't keyword stuff, meaning don't use bad keywords that are not related to the item in your titles. That's a big one. The listing time frame was one I just covered. That's huge. And we're going to be testing, guys. Some people feel like that's not really an issue, but I'm going to be testing it out, see how it differs. She did mention that bulk listing, so I think I covered this, but bulk listing is not different than listing by hand. There's no benefit on what sells, how you rank. She did say that having images inside of your listing do affect the speed of a mobile device. So if someone's looking at your items, that can affect how fast your items show up on the ranks. So don't have images, which we don't, inside of your listings. And I think that is the big one. I feel like something was missing, but I think for the most part that was it for the listings. We got best offers covered, images. Oh yeah, she did mention that having multiple images is a big deal. The bulk listing software doesn't cover. And she confirmed that it does not allow you to have multiple images, so you will have to go back in there and modify those and add more if you wish to. Not all items do have multiple images, different angles, but some do, and so you can go back in there and do those later by hand if you wish to. That does help your customers see that you have more items, different pictures of your items, if you will. I believe that was it. Yeah, I think that was a big one. So. Everything else is key on track. If you guys have any questions, again, get back to your mentor. I appreciate every single person on this webinar. You guys have a fantastic night, and be safe. We'll talk to you soon. And Jennifer, thank you for being on tonight. If you want to wrap it up, you want to say anything?
I would just say that this has been one of the best experiences I've had. I've learned a lot about myself and realized there's more than one way to make money. And I've really enjoyed the team atmosphere. And if you're looking for that kind of thing, you need to join us and learn the tricks. And it's all good. It's good.
Love it, love it. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming out, and you can thank your husband for letting you come out here and hanging out with us too. I know he probably wants to hang out with you. So.
Yeah, well, he's watching basketball. It's all good.
Oh, is he? Yeah, I know. I know it's basketball season, so you guys have a fantastic night, and thank you again, Jennifer, for coming out.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Night.